Right then guys, today we are going to do a quick overview of the Michelin Pilot Challenge on iRacing. Just to give you a lowdown on what it is, what cars are in it, how long it lasts, any sort of tactics that you need to employ to do well in it. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, GT4. We have the BMW and the Porsche. These are both rear-wheel drive. The Porsche tends to have a little bit better handling around the corners, with the BMW making up a little bit more ground in the straights. This obviously varies depending on the BOP applied for that season, but in a general rule of thumb, this is how it works. And then sharing the track with the GT4s, we have the touring car class. This is the Audi R3 LMS at the moment. These are front wheel drive, generally have a little bit more speed around the corners than the GT4s, but are lacking on the top speed. This is, I think, due to downforce. I think it produces more downforce than the GT4 cars do in its current spec. This does lead to some interesting interactions on track between GT4 and the touring car. At certain tracks, obviously the tight twisty sections, the touring car can be quite a handful for the GT4s to pass, even though they are technically a lower class. So, who is the Michelin Pilot Challenge aimed at? Well, really, this is a good progression if you're coming from the BMW 12 or the Turn Racing Touring Car Series, as it gives you an opening into the IMSA style multi-class race with a bit longer race distance of the 30 minutes rather than 15 minutes for the touring car and 12 minutes for the BMW. Now, there is multi-class racing at D licence, I think, in the Production Car Challenge, but this is that sort of step up towards the real sort of sports car racing, and a good step on the ladder up to the IMSA Sports Car Iracing Series as well. Due to the nature of the slower cars involved in this generally can produce some excellent racing. I've probably had much closer racing in the Michelin Pilot Challenge than I have had in IMSA across the board, really. I generally run the touring car class, which is able to sort of, as we say, trace and paint between them when they go around the lap. Lap times are very close between everyone. Really, really good racing. And then obviously you've got the danger of the overlap into the GT4 class. The slower part of the split in the GT4 class can cause some tactical issues when it comes to passing them and the touring car that you're trying to pass at the same time. When it comes to GT4, I'm a long-time believer of slower cars actually make better racing. Generally, we're all amateurs. Being able to control your car is difficult, and I think these slower, still racing cars, but just a little bit slower, a little bit easier to drive once you get the tyres up to temperature, can produce some real good side-by-side racing. And then obviously you've got the difference between the BMW and the Porsche. Their different attributes account for a bit of a tactical battle. Do you need to get in front of them on the around the corners in the Porsche because the BMW is going to give you some challenge down the straight, or do you try and get the toe around the straight so you're closer to them to come into the first corner of after the big straight? So yeah, there's plenty of options here, and it breeds some incredibly good racing. So where can you find this race? What times can we find this race? How do we get involved? So once you've got your C-Class licence and you've purchased one of the cars eligible for this series, you'll come into the Michelin Pilot Challenge and you'll find it at 1/4 every 2 hours. So like I said, you've got 4:15, these are all GMT. You've got 4:15, 6:15, 8:15, 10:15, and then it'll be 12:15, 2:15 into the next day. So the schedule for these cars. Now, obviously this varies season to season, week to week. Let's take this past season just gone as an example of what sort of tracks we can expect. So as you can see, current week is week 12. We're at Mount Panorama, so tight, twisty, with then again a big fast section at the end. This will probably be quite carnage, to be honest. If we look now, Spa, big track, Watkins Glen, Long Beat, tight and twisty, Alton Park, real touring car and GT4 circuit that is. Legacy Silverstone, again a good track for them. The National Circuit as well, so a short track, that'll probably keep the cars quite close together around the lap. A few free tracks thrown in here, and quite a lot of paid one. When you start getting up to sea, you are looking at paid content really. I had an insanely good race at Interlagos a couple of seasons ago. Brilliant in the touring car, really quite a challenging track to master in that, but once you do, the racing was really good. So yeah, you can expect a few free tracks thrown in, but obviously it runs on a lot of the big main tracks you're going to get. So your purchases for this series will overlap into VRS and the other IMSA when you move up a license class, and things like skippies and stuff like that. If you might already have a lot of these tracks from running those series. So there we go. That was a quick lowdown on the Michelin Pilot Challenge. Next video we will be doing a lowdown on IMSA, the Sports Car Challenge. So the next series up from this in the B license. I hope this has been useful for you, and if you want to give us a little like and a subscribe, that would be brilliant. If not, leave a thumbs up, thumbs down. Anything really will help me out. Take care.